Wait, ni howdy. This is Chuck with GrowPro Solutions. I want to welcome you guys to the installation video for our chariot rolling benches. All right, so first step in the leg assembly, you're going to look for these two holes. We're going to line them up with these two holes. Slide that on there. Then we're going to face this out so that the logo is facing the outside of the bench. This part is called A01 for the legs. Next step, we are going to take this part, which is A02. We are going to line up these holes with this hole right here. Okay, just be sure to use the shorter screws when doing the initial leg assembly. Don't use the L02 long one, use your shorter L01. All right, after we get the cross pieces assembled, we are now going to put screws into here. We're still using L1, the short one. It's going to fit right onto the top up here. Slip down there, slip down right here. In here. And then attach your nut. Perfect. Thank you, sir. Perfect. We are going to use the self-tapping screw, L02. We can see we've got it lined up with our pre-taps. Make sure to line up your holes. Two holes, face it outside. Do that on both sides. And then we're going to screw those in. And the next step, then we'll add the cross support bar. Sweet. All right, now we are going to put in our cross pieces for the base section. We're going to use this stainless steel part that is number A05. Make note of the two pre-drilled holes with the backing metal plate. We are going to line these holes up with the holes in our beginning base assembly. And for this part, we are going to use the L02 longer self-tapping screws. All right, so if you guys got a custom length from us that isn't a multiple of 8, like 8, 16, 24, 32, then this is how you're going to assemble your bench for the end base section. Instead of using the top holder, you're going to use this side holder for your cross support beam. This can telescope in and out. And so you're going to take your custom length, and if you need a 2-foot section, then you'll slide this in 2 foot. Something like that, or however the math works out for your custom length. Doesn't even have to be very exact. The table will still function perfect because you still have the overlap of the end of the bench to the actual base. So once you have the correct distance telescoped in here, then make sure to use the inside holder for your length support. So if your bench is a standard length that is a multiple of 8, say 8, 16, 32, etc., then we're going to continue the base assembly as we did for the beginning and the end. Middle, we're going to use the regular cross support right here. We're going to slide the piece A05 right in here, and then we are going to insert our self-tapping screws, which are the L02. Same thing over here. This is going to be your last leg of the end, and we're going to insert it into here. If it is a multiple of 8, 2 screws in there. All right, so our next step is going to be to assemble our rolling tube barrel. We're going to use this coupler, which is A07. So when screwing in to the coupler, you want to make sure that we get it really tight all the way up to this lip. That's going to ensure that the pipe ends up being as straight as possible across the whole length of the bench. And this drill is going to take a little bit extra time because we're drilling through the galvanized pipe. So because one pipe is going to have your wheel and one pipe will just be under the bench, we're going to want one of them roughly about 10 inches from the edge of your beginning base. And this one is right around 9 inches. And then we'll add the wheel to this longer one. But that is probably your last step. The other key point, that your screws that are attaching the coupler are not resting on top of the cross piece to your leg stand. We have our width piece is going to be 4 or 5 feet long. We have our length piece that's going to be 8 feet long. On our corner piece, we have the wider lip on the top and the thinner lip on the bottom. We are going to slide in. First, this is important, this is the important part. First, slide in your length piece. Slide the length piece all the way flush to the back of the green corner piece. Now we're going to take our width piece we're going to slide that so that it meets the width piece. Don't do the reverse. We'll repeat that on the other side. Now we're going to install L02 self-tapping screw. The next pieces we're going to use, we have B01 and B02. Underneath the wide lip of the aluminum housing, insert B1 so that the holes line up. We are going to take an self-tapping L02 screw. Now we're going to use B02 that doesn't have the 3 holes. We're going to just keep lining these up. Mike can probably do a couple for me. I'll have those guys screwed in. So we're going to take our anti-tip clip. This is going to go underneath. It's going to come back up, line it up with your 3 holes here that are on your B01 cross piece. So we are going to take our cross tray supports, which is B01 and B02. We're going to lay them across the pipe. We're going to take B01. We're going to put it all the way down here over the legs. Now we take the length piece. We're going to try to lay this on here. Next step, we're going to take the aluminum rail connector. This is going to be the straight one. The pair of these will have come in the beginning box. There'll also be another pair of them in the middle box. We're going to do just as before with the wider side is going to go on the top, and the thinner channel is going to be facing down. Okay. Now, I got it. Okay, there's a nice little middle marker right here. So we're going to get these to adjust right there. Put the aluminum tray sides tight to each other, and then we're ready to screw it in. So we are now going to assemble the end section of the aluminum tray housing. You're going to take your corner piece, and just like before on the beginning, we want the length to slide all the way in and touch the edge, and then we'll put the width piece in, and that will slide right up to the length piece. The bench is not going to function correctly if you have your roll bars tight to the anti-flip clip tip. So right now, the bench has very little travel. So the correct way to assemble this bench, we're going to want to have our pipes all the way to the edge. That's going to give us the maximum travel with the bench. This is our drain section. Takes a little bit of work, but you just pop it in there. Now let's install the middle section. On the middle section, we're going to have a female side, and we're going to have our male side. Male side is going to line up with the female side. We're now ready to put in the high side of our tray. So let's get it into the corner here. Now we're going to start assembling our trellis support. We're going to start in the corner. We're going to start with B05. You know this one is one of your trellis uprights because it has the different holes drilled at different heights. We are going to look for the two pre-drilled holes right here. Those are what is going to insert down into the corner piece. We're going to want these facing out, as that's where the screws go into the corner piece. That slides right down in there. This is B5, made of stainless steel. This B5, this corner, if you look, the holes are on this side, so we're going to line these holes up with these. So we've got these uprights in. We've got two sets of trellis clips for you. So it's up to you where you want to put them, but for now we'll just put it down here. Cool. So we're going to take our green trellis support Tetris piece. We are going to take the hole that has the two copper threads, which we will put these black screws into. That is going to slide down over the top here. You're going to want this interior part here to face across the width of the tray. So we can put this in here, screw in our little black screw. All right, and we'll do the same on the other side. B06. There are holes that we're going to want to line up with these screws, with the other screw holes in there. Push it out, put it in. All right, when we go to screw this, we're going to want to make sure that we line it up with the pre-drilled hole that's there. Okay, we're going to put the B06 crossbeam in first. if you have a custom length with us, I'm going to show you about this part. If you have a custom length, you're going to use this lower hole that's internal here. And then you would slide it accordingly to the length of your custom bench. But in terms of a bench that is just in an 8-foot section, then we will use the top piece of the tetramino, and that'll line right up in there. Don't line it up with these holes. You're going to just be screwing through the plastic hole here. So put it on tight. All right, and the wheel is on. Very last thing, we have this nice little end cap that's going to keep it from scraping your leg when you go by. That goes on your other pipe. So close to being done. Let's put in the drain assembly. You're going to unscrew this top screen. There's 2 gaskets. We're going to leave 1 gasket on here. Try to line this one up here. This black drain is going to screw down in here, and then from underneath, all right, you have a shutoff valve down here. This is going to be for your main drain with a shutoff valve. And if you use the shutoff valve and you have enough, you can actually use this to test your runoff. So if you want to test the runoff coming off of your tray. And then the very last thing, put our screen cap on top of the drain, and our rolling bench is now completely assembled.